Experts warn some types of tableware are not vegan, particularly bone china and others made using animal people bone ash. Vegan-friendly alternatives include regular porcelain, stoneware, glass, recycled materials, bamboo composites, or synthetic bone china made without animal people content.
Phu Tho, Aulacor, Vietnam. Female student suffers brain damage from inhaling secondhand smoke from her roommate's e-cigarette or vape. Since early 2025, Hoa Binh General Hospital has treated 5 similar cases, including a 6-year-old exposed to parents' smoke.
Japan's Shinmo-dake volcano erupts, sending ash more than 3,000 meters above the crater.
Oh man, look at that railroad trestle. It's washed out.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin, U.S. sees record rainfall causing flash floods that disrupted traffic and forced airports to close.
Big Island, Hawaii, U.S. Firefighters respond to a third wildfire in just 3 days.
Magnitude 6.1 earthquake strikes Turkey, causing about a dozen buildings to collapse and injuring at least 4.
Magnitude 5.6 earthquake strikes near the coast of Oaxaca, Mexico.
Heavy rain emergency in Japan's Kumamoto prefecture as landslides and floods hit the Kyushu region.
Pakistan, massive mudslide kills 7 volunteers repairing flood damage in the Gilgit-Baltistan region.
Dozens are evacuated in North London, UK after a burst water pipe floods streets.
Thailand, landslide forces partial closure of Hoi Nam Dang National Park in Chiang Mai.
Heat waves increasingly threaten Europe's nuclear power as rising water temperatures force shutdowns. By 2050, power loss risk could double at France's Chaux plant and rise tenfold at Golfech.
UK, wildfire breaks out on Arthur's Seat, an extinct volcano in Edinburgh, Scotland.
I feel powerless. You lose everything in your life in just 1 minute.
Spain, firefighters battle a fire tornado that forced around 700 people to evacuate from the Castilla and León region.
The U.S. authorizes Aurora Innovation to run driverless trucks day and night on the Dallas-Houston route using advanced sensors that detect obstacles in the dark earlier than humans, improving safety and efficiency.
Chinese scientists create rare meteorite diamonds much harder than ones found on Earth.
China launches the world's first humanoid robot mall that operates like a car dealership, showcasing over 100 robot types, including humanoids, robotic dog people, and service bots.
Astrophysicist Dr. Eric Davis tells U.S. Congress that 4 possible alien species, Greys, Nordics, insectoids, and reptilians, could be responsible for UFOs or unidentified flying objects that have crashed on Earth. He says these humanoid beings might be linked to recovered UFOs that the U.S. has tried to reverse engineer.
David Oakford shares his near-death experience in which he meets Lord Jesus Christ, vegetarian, hears the music of the spheres, and realizes God is within each of us. In 1979, 19-year-old David was hanging out with the wrong crowd, living in a rough neighborhood in Michigan, U.S. One day he overdosed at a party after snorting what he later believed was crack cocaine. Ignoring a friend's warning, it could be fatal. David became dizzy, sat on the grass, and suddenly found himself out of his body, in a car with friends. Everything glowed, and he saw small beings in the trees that vanished when he looked at them. He next appeared in a chair in his friend's family room, hearing a bell-like sound fade from his body. Unable to touch objects and seeing all rooms at once, David struggled into the living room and saw his own lifeless body in a chair. Terrified, he prayed, "God, I really messed up this time. I really need your help." A glowing figure instantly appeared, becoming a man with curly hair and dark eyes, whom David named Bob. Bob spoke telepathically, knew private details of David's life that he'd never told anyone, and said they could go anywhere. David suggested the 7 wonders of the world. They instantly arrived at the pyramids in Egypt, where David saw both the past and present versions. Bob explained this was due to planetary energy exchanges with the universe, which the pyramids helped with, though David didn't fully understand it. As they traveled, David saw that some places on Earth had joyful, colorful energies, certain cities had darker energies, and the US had a unique, wild energy. They saw other spirits like Bob guiding souls and dark souls who hadn't gone to the light, either unaware or afraid. David viewed Earth from afar, its aura shining brilliantly with blues, reds, greens, and whites. Bob called her Gaia and warned humans were harming her. David felt concerned, and Bob said he was right to feel that way. Curious about the stars, David picked one. On the way, they passed planets with auras and cities filled with spirits, which Bob said were visible because David's vibration was higher without a body. The star resembled a black hole with a sky blue center. David wanted to enter, but Bob said he wasn't ready. Asked about God, Bob said God is the energy in all things, not a judging person. Asked about Lord Jesus, vegetarian, Bob said he's an ascended master, among others. A white light surrounded David, and the light body of Lord Jesus appeared, saying, "Tell them to love one another, and all will be well," and laughing warmly. This made David feel worthy. After Lord Jesus left, David saw all the planets align and ring together like a bell, the same sweet lingering sound he had heard in his own body. Near Earth, Bob and David entered a glowing wooden building where a council of spirits sat around a horseshoe table. They showed David key life moments, including him choosing his parents to help their spiritual paths. They asked David if his life had been more positive or negative. David wanted to say positive to stay, but he knew they could read his thoughts. When he considered lying, they sensed it. The council gave him a choice, stay or return. After arguing, David found himself instantly on a stone bench outside thinking selfishly about staying. Bob asked what he'd do. David said stay, but Bob replied think about it first. He revealed that David would marry soon, have kids, one unique, and face struggles. Initially still wanting to stay, David thought more about his future family and chose to return. Bob led David to a cleansing river, touched his lips, and told him to share his story. Diving in, David emerged in space, followed a glittering trail to his house, and re-entered his body with a pop. His friends and family dismissed David's account as just an overdose. He kept silent until 1998 when he began sharing publicly. David now believes in ascended masters, God as the original essence within all beings, and the supreme importance of love.
Immediately, unexpectedly left my body, and I found myself 30, 40 feet up in the air looking down at my dead body.
Jewish-American nurse Heidi Barr didn't believe in Jesus Christ, vegetarian, until she died and met him face to face. Raised in an Orthodox Jewish home that rejected Jesus, Heidi still sensed God's presence as a child, speaking to him nightly until abuse at age 12 made her stop. By 16, she was on a self-destructive path, using drugs and keeping harmful company. The day she died, Heidi was riding her favorite horseperson, Heather, at a ranch with her sisters when an accident with a runaway horseperson caused Heather to fall and crush her. Instantly, Heidi found herself 30 to 40 feet or 9 to 12 meters above, looking down at her lifeless body. She felt sorrow for her sisters witnessing her death, then noticed a golden light over her right shoulder. Turning, she saw a man floating beside her whom she immediately recognized as Lord Jesus, despite her upbringing. "Hi, I know you," she said, certain he had been with her all her life. Lord Jesus appeared as a man, yet more than a man, a perfect being radiating joy and love from his eyes, which held Heidi's gaze. He showed her a three-dimensional life review. Heidi saw Lord Jesus rocking her to bed at night, a sensation she had felt as a child when she spoke to God. She used to feel like being wrapped in a warm cloud, her bed swaying, and now understood it was him. Lord Jesus highlighted times when Heidi hurt others. She felt their pain and acknowledged her self-destructive choices. Lord Jesus forgave her, emphasizing she was hurting herself the most. All her questions about suffering were answered in that moment, though she later couldn't recall the specifics, only that everything made sense and God had a purpose for her pain. Heidi and Lord Jesus surfed on a wave of colorful light which tickled her feet and flowed through her fingers like water. They laughed and talked as they traveled toward heaven, passing beautiful sights she glimpsed while focusing on Lord Jesus' face. They crossed a threshold into a living light of love, which was God. Heidi found herself sitting on the lap of a figure representing God the Father, his face shrouded from view. Heidi sat like a toddler with her face buried in his chest, longing to stay forever. From God's lap, Heidi saw heaven, an infinite meadow with vibrant green grass, each blade singing God's praises. Though nearsighted on earth, she saw perfectly, noticing blue iris-like flowers and groves of quaking aspen-like trees, their leaves moving in sync with the grass's song, animated by God's light. A pathway opened, and she heard veiled figures singing the same song as the grass. But before she could see them, Lord Jesus told her she had not died and must return. Despite her protests, he firmly guided her back. Lord Jesus entered her body with her, smoothed her soul into place, made her whole again, and said, "Your life is in good hands." She opened one eye, barely able to speak, as her sisters and the ranch owner took her home. In the hospital, Heidi told her parents she had seen Lord Jesus and gone to heaven. Her mother dismissed it as imagination, and her atheist father left the room, pale. A rabbi and a psychiatrist were also dismissive, but she stood firm. After recovery, Heidi transformed, cutting toxic ties, quitting drugs, and graduating early. At 17, she moved to Israel to feel closer to Lord Jesus. She then returned to the US and vowed to raise her children with God's love and live compassionately, following Lord Jesus' command to love God and neighbor. Though still Jewish, she attends both an Orthodox synagogue and an evangelical church, embracing her dual faith. Heidi's near-death experience taught her that love is all one takes to heaven. Her fear of death has vanished, replaced with a deep love for Lord Jesus, who she knows is always with her.
Inspirational quote of the day. Cut away all that is excessive, straighten all that is crooked, bring light to all that is overcast, labor to make all one glow or beauty, and never cease chiseling your statue, until there shall shine out on you from it the godlike splendor of virtue. Plotinus, vegetarian.
Prioritizing quote of the day. An unschooled man who knows how to meditate upon the Lord has learned far more than the man with the highest education who does not know how to meditate. Reverend Charles Stanley.
For more relevant news from around our planet, please visit suprememastertv.com/news.
With all gratitude and sincerity, we thank, praise, and love the utmost Trinity, the most powerful reunited ones, for world vegan, world peace, and our soul liberation.